Hey, Gary's Gulch, welcome back. So I'm doing an afternoon broadcast here today, or recording, and normally I do them early in the morning. Why? Because I am at my highest possible energy in the first 2 or 3 hours of the day. If I have something really important to do, I do it at the beginning of the day. Some people get energy as the day goes along. I'm a little bit envious of that because mine just drains and drains and drains. I think those that are probably getting more energy, they're probably extroverts, right? Because it's actually going through the day and interacting with people and answering those questions and doing the presentations and handling the problems is what actually gets them jazzed up. Again, a little bit jealous of that happening. So hopefully this is still a good one. This is a Sunday afternoon, and I have a little bit of a religious tinge to this one, as I have had on a few past ones. So I think it's appropriate for Sunday, and the good Lord is, I think, giving me a bit of energy because I'm feeling pretty good this afternoon. So I messed up last episode, didn't get the right video, I think, or the right file to the team at Podkick, and so they weren't able to produce it. So it came out this Monday, and this one's coming out Wednesday to get us caught back up. So thanks a lot to the Podkick team for hanging in there with me, and my awesome social media wizard, Macy, for putting everything together for you so you can see it on LinkedIn, YouTube, and everywhere else that we're publishing. So thanks so much. Please continue to provide feedback. So my question to you today is, has life been a bit hard for you at times? Has there been times where it just keeps going and you're like, when is this ever going to stop? Well, if you're a parent, you're a business owner, you have a challenging W-2 job where perhaps you're leading other people, or you're going through some certifications and qualifications like I did on the submarine force time after time after time. Yeah, life can get a little stressful and hard. You're not on easy street. And I don't think you want to be on easy street. I think staying in the game, continuing to add value to the world is important. Every other plant and animal out there does that. I've been on that soapbox before, so I'll let that one go. But here's my feedback to the question I just asked. If life is hard, if you're in that place where you say, if I didn't have bad luck, I would have no luck at all, right? If you're in that place, it's because you are doing it to yourself. This was an earth-shattering realization for me when I was listening to Charlie Kirk interview Russell Brand last week. You can go back and find it. It's one of the last few episodes. Charlie is prolific. He's putting out 5 or 6 episodes a week, but still, it's in the last 10. You'll find it. If you don't know who Russell Brand is, look him up. He's hilarious. He's British. He's definitely going against the mainstream, and it got him in a lot of trouble in England because England's nowhere near as free speech as we are over here. So he's been constantly getting into trouble with the social media police, with the actual police. And so he's been spending about a bunch of time in America. But Russell not only is a contrarian, he's a comedian, and he's very well read, he's very well spoken, he's funny, and now he has also given himself to God. And when he was talking about this moment that I struggle with, I've talked to my coach Tammy all the time about this. I said, the thing that is hard for me, growing up in the Catholic Church, it's kind of assumed, going through baptism, going through communion, that, you've always been on the path. I haven't felt like I've always been on the path to God. Sometimes I pushed back hard when I was younger. I've been absent from the bigger community for a long time, and I've kind of just been doing it on my own, personal relationship with God, which I still think is the thing. But I keep running across other people who say, this was the moment I gave my life to Christ. This was the moment I surrendered. And I'm like, what does that feel like? Like, I'm a little bit jealous. Like, I don't remember one of those moments. I remember crazy moments where I realized that there is a divine power, more than a handful of them. I've told the story about the tractor. You got to go back and listen to that one if you haven't listened to it. But I've had a dozen times easily in the Navy, when I was on our farm, lots of dangerous situations. And they just turned out in a way in which it had to be divine intervention. Coincidences don't get you there. So he says that this is the moment. And what he says, Russell Brand says, is, I kept trying to do all of this myself. And when the challenge would get harder, I would lean my shoulder into it and work harder. And it wasn't until I realized that I'm supposed to be listening to God and doing what God wants me to do, not just toughing my way through it and doing it all myself. But here was the thing really that he said, and that was probably a paraphrase and kind of more of my own insight than his. But the part that I remember him saying that was earth-shattering for me was that he said the reason that I wanted to do it myself, the reason that I kept trying to push through and do it myself, I would tell myself that this is what God wants me to do without checking in. But the reason I wanted to do it is ego. It's just flat out ego. And I stopped. I was mowing the lawn and I stopped and I just stood there and I go, you're right. That is what my problem is too. And I can even remember sharing this story with Tammy that I don't even remember what the struggle was, but it was like 5 years ago. And I remember getting ready. I remember going to bed and just laying there and saying, okay, I give up. I can't solve this one myself. And the next morning it was solved. And I really do wish I could remember what it was, but it wasn't a huge deal. But apparently to me, it was a big deal because I'd been working on it for a week or two, I remember. And I just couldn't do it. I could not solve that one. I wasn't big enough to do it. Surrendered at that moment, kind of micro surrender there. And I allowed God to take care of it for me. And the next morning it was all solved. And I just remember reflecting on that and thinking, I've been doing this wrong. But what did I do? I got back into the doors and listening to the doors and windows again. And I kept, staying in the natural world, and I didn't learn my lesson. And so clearly Russell Brand has learned his lesson. And Charlie Kirk, certainly jealous of this dude. He learned it in grade school, I think. But I think I might be learning the lesson. So I wanted to share that with you. And I wanted to just help you understand the next time that you're going through something that is tremendously challenging. My great friend Joel, who lives in Alabama, has a coffee shop. And Joel tells me all the time he listens to my podcast. And they struggle, and they struggle, and they struggle. And I do know that those two are Christians, and they do believe in God. And Joel, what I would say is just take a pause when that happens, and just get quiet and say, don't say, God, can you help me with this? Can you get me through this one? Because really what we're saying there is, if you get me through this one, I'll go back to being the guy looking out the doors and windows at what the real world is telling me, not God's world is telling me. And so what I would say, and this is what I'm going to start doing, is I'm going to say thank you before my challenge comes, as Jesus did many times in the Bible, before a miracle would be performed by God through him, and he would be the first to tell us, why do you say I'm so special? It's not me, it's God. So my next challenge, I'm just going to thank God that he solved this one for me. And I'm going to listen. Here's the thing. We are animals and we are built to solve challenges. I mean, humans can intellectually solve problems, but all animals out there will solve problems. So will plants. If something gets in your way, you grow around it. You, over time, will morph into being flying squirrels if you need to fly, right? So we will evolve. We will overcome challenges. But the humans can intellectually think our way through it, right? And that gets us more into this. Look what I've done. I can keep doing it on my own. This is what I'm supposed to do. It's not what you're supposed to do. You are supposed to use the tools that God gave you. And here's the important part, the direction that he gives you in the moment. And that's where I have fallen way short. So my suggestion to Joel and all of my other amazing listeners is that you have to check in more often. And I'm the worst guy about this. So I'm right there with you. I like to be in my financial role. I like to be ahead of my clients on the path, letting them know, you know what, in your situation, I would definitely choose path B, not A or C. I've been down those three paths, and B is the path for you, given your situation and what you've told me. That's the perfect situation. Sometimes I'm just barely ahead of them on the path, or maybe I've only been on two of the paths. I've lost a tremendous amount of money in syndications. I've shared that with you on like 10 different vastly different investment strategies. Some of them were residential real estate, some of them were mobile home parks, some of it was oil and gas, some of it was water vending machines and ATM machines, and a lot of different things. And why was I doing that? Because verbally I was telling people I wanted to learn, I wanted to develop my passive cash flow. What I really wanted to do was understand what risks are out there and test them before my clients got there. And well, I did that, and that was a rocky road, but it didn't have to be as rocky. If I just slowed down, looked up, thanked God for this new challenge that I had coming, and remembered it wasn't me alone on this path, and it never is. And so my message for you in this perhaps pretty short episode is that you're not alone, and we all go through this. And my experience has been that yes, maybe we can all look back and remember that one moment when we were saved, when we surrendered ourselves to God. Maybe, probably. But I'm not there, right? What I remember is a few different times where I've done it right and a whole lot of times where I've done it wrong since then. And consistently, continuously doing it right is the path forward. And it's what I have to remember. And it's what I hope all of you remember. And I also hope and pray, I've prayed about this a lot, that I'm not repelling people who like me and my guidance, but are not in the place where I am with my faith. So I hope that I'm not repelling people out there like that. But I've prayed about this, and I'm confident that God said, keep moving forward. So that's what I'm doing. And I just, by the way, met an amazing organization. When we were starting the second time with the business owner crowd that I had mentioned, and before we broke up the second time, it was when we were just starting the second time, I was trying to figure out, is this the path to go forward? You know what I didn't do? I didn't pray about it. However, I did say one thing. I said, so in one of my prayers, so what I mean I didn't pray about it is that I didn't do numerous sessions, listening intently, writing down what I've learned, and try to, figure out specifically what he was saying. Really what I did was I thought about it. I was very heavily leaning towards going back and helping that crowd because there were some amazing customers, members in that crowd. And it was my belief that it was had a very strong Christian religious background behind it. And so I just told God, please help this one go well for me. And then I said, wait a minute, what I really want to say is, please help this or something better. If this path, or help me along this path or a path that is better. And I think I just found that path that was better because much out of my control, at least my perspective, I got dropped like the jilted girlfriend again without any notice. And I felt a little taken back there. But my faith was this time stronger in God. And I just kept moving forward, adding value where I could in other directions. Many of my clients from that organization have stayed with me, and I'm very grateful for that. But I think this new organization is that, give me this or something better. I think he said, I'm taking that away because here's something better. And it's a little too early for me to explain exactly what this organization is, but it is for business owners. It's for higher performing people who want to change the world, or at least the community around them. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm not at all superstitious. Kind of feels like I don't want to jinx this, but it's more that I don't think I can adequately explain it yet. I can't put into words the emotional and gut feel and feedback I'm getting from God that this is a good path. So I'm going to keep this one a little shorter. I hope you're having an amazing summer. Don't get too caught up in the fact that all the projects are getting pushed off. Dog days of summer, I got to spend it around family. Just do that. Spend time around your family. Spend time with God. And come back firing on all cylinders, ready to hit it in the fall. Kids go back to school. We get more challenged or get more focused on our careers and in our businesses. And we work like crazy for a couple of months. And then all of a sudden the holidays are here. And then, New Year's is here. And then we start the spring semester. And then the summer is here. And this stuff starts moving really fast. I'm 56 years old. And my 81-year-old father-in-law, Tom, happy birthday. Love you, man. But he has always said to me, since he's 15, I should probably do my math better. He's 25 years ahead of me. 15 would be weird. He's 25 years or 26 years ahead of me, and he says it gets worse. And not worse, it gets faster. Things move faster and faster and faster, and the years feel like weeks. To me, the years feel like, 6 months. But I can remember when the year felt like 5 years when I was my son's age. So things start moving faster. Spend the time with the family. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your time with God. And get prepared to hit some really solid triple hitters when we get back here for a couple of months in the fall before we start getting all caught up in the holidays. And the holidays are amazing. One very important holiday, obviously Christmas. But New Year's also is just an incredible cleansing event so that we can get out there and go at it next year. Love all my followers, love all my clients. I'm really, really enjoying having these quarterly calibration meetings with all of our clients now. Instead of meeting once every 2 or 3 years, We got it really good last year or in the year before about doing annually, and now we're doing quarterly and sometimes more frequently, and it is fantastic. So if you're not on that path, reach out to me. We'll get you rolled into current system so that we have you on these, in our structure for doing quarterly get-togethers. And enjoy the summer. I will see you back here on Gary's Gulch. But before then, go out and make something amazing happen in your world with God alongside you. So remember, if you're continuously slugging it out and it's hard, and I can't get through this, you're not plugging into the guy who can make it happen. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon on Gary's Gulch.